Foodies.
Foodies.
With the T.
The 94.9 WATV, Isis Jones with you. And yes, it is time for the tea with Foodies with the T. Hey, baby.
Yep. What it do? What it do?
I got Big Unc in here. I got Toya holding it down. And y'all, it has been an interesting news cycle today. I'm excited to talk about a couple of stories because there was one that I actually wasn't quite sure what the end result was, but we get some closure on that. But let's kick it off with you, Clint. Kodak Black arrested during a traffic stop. Why are they letting that boy drive himself? I mean, have we figured out nothing else about this baby?
Oh my God. So this past Friday, he was arrested in South Florida on felony drug charges. Authorities said Black, who's 25, served prison time on weapons charges back in Trump tenure as president, and was commuted. His sentence was commuted and whatever. They found when they pulled him over, they found that his car registration was expired, and then they observed a strong odor coming from the car. They pulled him over because it was dark tinted windows, and they found 31 oxycodone tablets and nearly 75 grand in cash. Oh, he was arrested, then taken to jail, released on $75,000 bond, charged with one count of trafficking, oxycodone, and one count of possession. He pleaded not guilty and requested jury trial.
Okay.
Why are these rappers so dead set on living the life that they have tried their entire life to get away from? I don't understand.
And when you have got off, luckily
you got off.
George, Trump got him off, and you go right back into the same. I don't understand.
Same things. Like, that's insane to me.
Yeah, it's just like a never-ending cycle.
Well, speaking of insane, I have been waiting for closure on this one story, Toya. They had an inmate who had impregnated 2 women in a women's prison, was transgender, and the final verdict has come through, and they have actually moved them.
Well, Mr. Demi Minor, or Miss Demi Minor, who was 27, was in the only all-women's correctional facility in New Jersey. And they moved him to one of the male prisons because he impregnated 2 other prisoners back in April. He is distraught. So he has a blog. I found a blog that he has. Or she. I'm sorry. I don't want to be rude. So she has a blog.
Right.
And she talks about how she was beaten by police during transport and everything from the women's prison to the men's prison. She just talks about how unfair it is for her. Me personally, the world we live in is just not totally inclusive. And there are people who just think whatever you're born with is what you are. So I don't understand how she ended up in the facility with the women in the first place, honestly. If you still have the hardware, you can still use the hardware. So how did she even end up there was my question.
Yeah, and that is a big one right there. But I think that's still something that has to be done as far as the state is concerned. Yeah, and I think that's how she ended up there, or he ended up there to begin with. But I'm just kind of amazed of how you would sit there and be confused about impregnating 2 people and why you got moved, though, at that point.
Right.
I mean, you're safe in that space, but why violate the rules in that regard?
Yeah, because you knew what you was doing.
You knew. And my thing is, this is not even what attracts you, apparently, supposedly. But you got 2 whole women pregnant. And honestly, it's not even telling how many of the women in the prison he was actually having sex with. Telling. So that's just like, are we going to be able to use this as a cop-out when it's time to go somewhere where you won't have to worry about the punishment being as great? Because if he goes to a male, like her main concern with going to a male prison is they're going to totally take over her, because you have some women parts, but then you still have your male parts. So I pray everything works out for her in her best interest, but.
And I do too, because you don't want to have anyone harmed out there by any stretch of imagination. But we're going to finish this on some good news. By show of hands, who are Toys R Us kids up in the conversation? Are you a Toys R Us kid?
I don't want to grow up.
I got a kid.
Well, for those of y'all who have been missing Toys R Us, some of you'll be able to see them at late Macy's locations. They're actually coming back online, but they will be exclusively at Macy's, which I think is a great partnership. And I'm excited to see Toys R Us. That was a little bit nostalgic when I saw that they returned, because when they left and basically filed bankruptcy, my heart broke. You know, that was something that we had grown up with, you know, running down those aisles. So I'm excited to see how Macy's going to have it laid out, especially with their storefronts as well.
Right. And just in time for Christmas too.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll be really good to see.
I think I may go buy a few toys.
You know what?
I'm not buying any. No.
That's all.
Hey, y'all, that is Foodies with the T. Monday through Friday, we got you from 7 until 10. So, how do we get in contact with you all and follow y'all today?
You can follow us on Instagram at Foodies with the T, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, Foodies with the T.
I love it. Keep it right here on B94.9.